Isn't it strange how the relationships with our children change as they grow up? One minute they're looking up to you, hanging on your every word, and the next, it feels like they're dismissing your opinions, rushing you off the phone, or making decisions without a second thought for your feelings. It can hurt deeply. You've given them so much, raised them, guided them, and now, well, sometimes it just feels like the respect you once had has faded, replaced by a different kind of dynamic. Maybe you feel overlooked, or that your wisdom isn't valued anymore. It's a painful reality for many parents. And if you're feeling this way, please know you are absolutely not alone. But what if I told you there are powerful, simple shifts you can make that can genuinely change this dynamic, that you can influence how your adult children interact with you, and in turn, foster that feeling of mutual respect again? It's not about demanding respect, but about embodying it and shifting the energy. In this video, we're going to explore 5 powerful moves you can start making today. Subtle but profound changes in how you approach these relationships. These aren't quick fixes, but they are genuine paths towards a more fulfilling connection. Stay with me until the very end, because there's something we'll touch on that might truly surprise you about the whole situation. So, let's gently begin by talking about the very first of these powerful moves. And it's one that might feel a little counterintuitive at first, but trust me, it lays the absolute foundation for everything else. This first move is all about setting healthy boundaries. Now, when we hear the word boundaries, especially in the context of family, it can sometimes sound harsh or like putting up walls. But really, healthy boundaries are less like walls and more like fences with gates. They define your space, your time, your emotional capacity, and importantly, your autonomy. They communicate how you need to be treated to feel respected, not just by your children, but by everyone. And guess what? When you clearly and calmly define your boundaries, you are modeling respect for yourself. And that, my friends, is contagious. Think about it. Have you ever found yourself saying yes to something you really didn't have the energy for? Or maybe you feel obligated to always be available at a moment's notice, dropping everything when a child calls or needs something. Perhaps unsolicited advice is a constant point of friction, where you offer wisdom gained over decades, only for it to be brushed aside, leaving you feeling unheard and perhaps even a little foolish. These are all areas where boundaries can help. Setting a boundary isn't about controlling your children's behavior. It's about controlling your response and defining what you will participate in or accept. For instance, if phone calls always turn into hour-long complaining sessions that leave you drained, a boundary could be, "I love talking to you, but I only have about 20 minutes right now." Or if last-minute requests for childcare or favors feel overwhelming, it's okay to say, "I'd love to help, but I need a little more notice to plan things." Or even simply, "I'm not available at that time." It's also crucial around unsolicited advice. This is a big one for many parents and adult children. We've lived longer, we've seen more, and we often genuinely believe we know a better or easier way. But offering advice when it hasn't been asked for can feel critical or controlling to an adult child who is trying to navigate their own life. A boundary here isn't about never offering advice, but about your commitment to only offering it when asked, or framing it gently as, "Have you considered?" rather than, "You should do." Your boundary is internal. I will bite my tongue unless they explicitly ask for my opinion. This requires practice, patience, and a lot of self-control, but it demonstrates respect for their ability to figure things out. Another area for boundaries is around your time and energy. As we get older, our energy levels might not be what they once were, and our time might be precious to us for our own pursuits, hobbies, or rest. Feeling obligated to constantly be the family's backup plan, the emergency fund, or the always-on support system can be exhausting. It's okay to have your own life and your own priorities. Communicating those, gently but firmly, is vital. I've planned to spend my Saturday working in the garden, so I won't be able to come over then, is a perfectly valid statement. It respects your time and signals that your time is valuable. Implementing boundaries after years of not having them can be challenging, both for you and for your children. They may push back, express surprise, or even guilt trip you. This is where consistency and calm repetition are key. You don't need to justify or over-explain. Simply state your boundary kindly, but firmly. That doesn't work for me. Or, I'm not comfortable with that, are complete sentences. Why does this help gain respect? Because when you respect yourself enough to set and maintain these limits, you teach others how to treat you. You are showing that you value your own well-being, your time, and your feelings. This isn't selfish. It's self-preservation, and it models healthy behavior. Children, even adult children, learn by watching us. When they see you have a life beyond them, that you prioritize your own needs sometimes, and that you won't be a doormat, it subtly shifts the dynamic. It moves from a parent-child relationship where the parent might be expected to endlessly give, to a more adult-to-adult dynamic where mutual respect for individual lives and limits is understood. It requires you to be comfortable with potential discomfort initially, but the long-term gain in a healthier, more respectful relationship is immense. This focus on building your foundation of self-respect through boundaries naturally leads us to the next powerful move. And hand in hand with setting those healthy boundaries, which is really about defining your space and valuing your own needs, comes the second powerful move. Build a rich and fulfilling life for yourself, independent of your children. This might sound simple, even obvious, but its impact on the respect dynamic is profound. When your life revolves solely around your children and grandchildren, their problems, their schedules, their needs, it can inadvertently create a dynamic where you might seem overly available, perhaps a little needy for their attention, or too invested in their decisions. This isn't a judgment. It often comes from a place of deep love and wanting to be involved, but from the perspective of an adult child trying to forge their own path. It can sometimes feel like pressure, or that you lack your own interests. When you cultivate your own passions, hobbies, friendships, and interests, you become a more interesting, vibrant person. You have things to talk about that aren't centered on them. You have plans that sometimes conflict with their spontaneous requests. You radiate a sense of purpose and independence. This is incredibly attractive, and frankly, commands respect. Think about it. Who do you tend to respect more? Someone whose entire identity seems wrapped up in their relationship to you, or someone who has their own vibrant world going on, who chooses to spend time with you because they enjoy your company, not because they have nothing else to do. This isn't about being unavailable or ignoring your family. It's about adding dimensions to your life. Maybe it's joining a book club, volunteering for a cause you care about, learning a new language, taking up painting, traveling, dedicating time to your own fitness, or nurturing friendships outside of family connections. Whatever it is, make time for you. Invest in your happiness and your growth. When you have your own fulfilling life, you approach interactions with your children from a place of abundance, not scarcity. You're not looking to them to fill a void. You're sharing your life with them and interested in hearing about theirs as equals. This shifts the energy significantly. Instead of perhaps subtly seeking validation or involvement from them, you are a person who is busy, engaged, and interesting. They will likely find themselves more drawn to you, curious about what you're doing, and appreciative of the time you do spend together because they know it's valuable to you too. Moreover, having your own life provides perspective. It reduces the likelihood of becoming overly involved in your children's day-to-day dramas or feeling personally responsible for their choices and their happiness. You have your own things to focus on. This emotional space is healthy for everyone. It allows your children the room to make their own mistakes and learn from them, which is crucial for their own development. And it prevents you from experiencing constant stress or disappointment based on their lives. Building this rich life takes intention and effort, especially if you've spent many years prioritizing the needs of others. It might mean consciously scheduling time for yourself, saying no to some things to say yes to others, and perhaps stepping outside your comfort zone to try new activities or meet new people. But it is a vital investment in yourself and, consequently, in the health of your family relationships. It demonstrates confidence, self-worth, and independence, qualities that are inherently respectable. So, take some time to think about what truly lights you up, what you've always wanted to do, or what you've let slide. Start small. Join that club. Call that friend you've been meaning to connect with. Block out an hour each day just for your hobby. As you invest in yourself, you'll notice a shift in your own energy and, gradually, in how others respond to you. Your children will see you as a person with your own vibrant identity, not just mom or dad. And that recognition is a powerful step towards mutual respect. Now, let's move from building your external life to refining your internal interactions, following the crucial steps of setting boundaries and actively building your own fulfilling life, which both strengthen your self-respect and model independence. We arrive at the third powerful move. Master the art of listening and asking questions, rather than giving advice. This is perhaps one of the hardest shifts for parents, whose natural inclination is often to guide, to protect, and to share the lessons they've learned, sometimes painfully, over the years. But as children become adults, unsolicited advice can feel intrusive, critical, or dismissive of their own capabilities. When your adult child comes to you with a problem, a challenge, or a decision they're grappling with, your immediate reaction might be to jump in with solutions. You see the pitfalls they might encounter. You know a shortcut. You've been there before. But pause for a moment. Often, what they truly need isn't a ready-made answer, but simply to be heard. They need a sounding board, someone to process their thoughts with, someone who trusts them to find their own way. This is where active listening becomes a superpower. It means truly focusing on what they are saying, both verbally and non-verbally, without interrupting, without formulating your response while they're still speaking, and without immediately trying to fix it. It's about validating their feelings and their experience. Phrases like, "It sounds like you're feeling really frustrated by that," or "That must be a difficult situation to be in," show empathy and that you're paying attention. Paired with listening is the power of asking open-ended questions. Instead of saying, "You should really talk to your boss about that," you could ask, "How are you thinking of handling this?" Or, "What options have you considered so far?" Or, if they're telling you about a tricky decision, instead of advising, "You definitely shouldn't take that job," you might ask, "What are the pros and cons as you see them?" Or, "What feels like the biggest challenge for you in making this choice?" These kinds of questions empower your child. They communicate that you believe in their ability to think through their own issues and arrive at their own conclusions. You are shifting from the role of the all-knowing authority figure to the role of a supportive confidant and a wise sounding board. You are helping them explore their own thinking, which is a far more valuable life skill than simply being told what to do. When you consistently listen more and advise less, you create a safe space for your children to share openly with you. They won't dread calls or visits because they won't feel like they're walking into an interrogation or an advice bombing zone. They will see you as someone who respects their autonomy and trusts their judgment, even if it differs from your own. This builds trust and strengthens the bond. And paradoxically, when you hold back on the unsolicited advice, they are often more likely to seek out your wisdom when they truly need it, because they know you won't overwhelm them and that you will listen first. This doesn't mean you can never offer your perspective. If they explicitly ask, "Mom, Dad, What do you think I should do? Or, have you ever dealt with something like this? Then, by all means, share your thoughts. But perhaps frame them as your experience or perspective. When I faced a similar situation, I found that, or, one way to look at this might be, even then, keep it concise and follow up by asking what they think about what you've shared. The key is that they initiated the request for advice. Practicing this requires conscious effort, especially if offering advice has been a long-standing pattern. It means catching yourself before you leap in with solutions and reminding yourself to just listen. It means being comfortable with their struggles without feeling the need to immediately alleviate them. It's about offering support and belief, rather than dictates. This shift in communication style shows a profound respect for their adult status and their individuality, and it is reciprocated over time. Now, moving from how we listen and speak, let's consider another crucial aspect of our interactions, continuing this journey towards fostering mutual respect. Beyond setting boundaries, building our own lives, and mastering the art of listening, we come to the fourth powerful move: manage your own emotional reactions. This is perhaps one of the most challenging, yet most impactful, areas for change. Adult children often navigate complex feelings about their parents, a mix of love, old patterns, maybe some lingering resentment, and their own stresses. Sometimes, their communication or actions can be triggering for us, pushing buttons that have been there for decades. They might say something critical, express disappointment, make a choice you strongly disagree with, or seem dismissive. Our natural, often immediate, reaction might be defensiveness, hurt, anger, or an attempt to regain control or assert authority. We might lash out, withdraw, or become overly emotional. While these reactions are understandable, we are human, after all, and their opinions matter to us. They rarely lead to productive conversations or increased respect. In fact, highly reactive responses can often escalate conflict, shut down communication, and reinforce negative patterns. Consider a situation where your adult child makes a decision you believe is a terrible mistake, maybe about their career, their relationship, or their finances. Your first impulse might be to express your disapproval strongly, perhaps listing all the reasons why it's wrong, maybe even raising your voice or showing obvious frustration. How does that usually play out? Likely, they become defensive, feel misunderstood, and the conversation ends in tension. Or they simply stop sharing important aspects of their lives with you to avoid your reaction. Managing your emotional reaction isn't about suppressing your feelings. It's about choosing how and when you express them, and crucially, not letting them dictate your immediate response in a way that is damaging to the relationship. It's about taking a pause, breathing, and deciding how you want to show up in that moment. If something your child says or does triggers you, instead of reacting immediately, try to step back emotionally. You can say, "Okay, I need a moment to think about that." Or, "I hear what you're saying, let me digest it." Or even, "I'm finding this conversation difficult right now. Can we revisit it later?" This gives you time to process your feelings. Understand why you're feeling triggered often. It's linked to our own fears or old dynamics, and then respond more thoughtfully from a place of calm, rather than reacting from a place of raw emotion. When you consistently respond calmly, even when faced with frustrating or upsetting situations, you demonstrate emotional maturity and self-control. You become a port in the storm, rather than contributing to the tempest. This kind of steady presence is inherently respectable. Your children learn that they can communicate with you, even about difficult things, without fear of an explosive or overly dramatic reaction. This encourages open and honest communication. It also models healthy emotional regulation. Many adult children are still learning how to manage their own strong feelings. And seeing you handle yours with grace and composure provides a powerful example. You are teaching them, through your behavior, what a healthy adult interaction looks like. Even in disagreement, this takes practice. It requires self-awareness to recognize your triggers and the physical signs that you're about to react impulsively, like tension in your body, a racing heart, or sudden anger. It might involve developing coping strategies, like taking those deep breaths, stepping away for a few minutes, or talking to a trusted friend or partner before responding to your child. By taking responsibility for your own emotional landscape, you stop making your children's behavior responsible for your happiness or your emotional stability. This is a huge shift. It removes a heavy burden from them and empowers you. When they see that their actions don't automatically derail you, and that you can engage with them calmly even when things are difficult, it fundamentally changes the power dynamic and fosters a deeper, more adult form of respect. This focus on our own reactions naturally leads us to the final powerful move, which ties many of these threads together. Bringing all these threads together, setting boundaries, building your own life, listening more, and managing your reactions, we arrive at the fifth and final powerful move. Offer genuine support and connection without expectation or judgment. This is perhaps the most subtle, yet ultimately the most rewarding shift. It's about being a source of unconditional love and support, truly celebrating your children's triumphs and offering a listening ear during their struggles, without attaching strings, keeping score, or using it as an opportunity to say, "I told you so." As parents, our love is naturally unconditional, but sometimes our support can feel conditional to our children, dependent on them making choices we approve of, living lives that align with our expectations, or needing us in ways that make us feel important. When support comes with unspoken expectations or a side of subtle or not so subtle judgment, it creates distance and erodes trust. Our children may feel they have to hide parts of their lives from us, or pretend to be someone they're not to gain our approval. Genuine support, on the other hand, is given freely. It's offering help because you want to, not because you expect something in return like gratitude, or them finally taking your advice. It's celebrating their successes, even if they achieved them in a way you wouldn't have chosen. It's being there for them when they're hurting, without immediately jumping in to fix it or critique the choices that led them there. It's about saying, "I'm here for you," and truly meaning it, no matter what. This means letting go of the need for your children's lives to unfold according to your plan or your timeline. It means respecting their choices, even when you disagree with them or worry about the outcome. It means trusting that they are capable adults, navigating their own paths, and that your role has shifted from director to supportive consultant and loving presence. Judgment, whether overt criticism or subtle disapproval expressed through tone or body language, is a major barrier to respect and open communication. When your children feel judged, they shut down, they become defensive. They learn that sharing honestly with you is not safe. Conversely, when they feel accepted and loved for who they are and the choices they make, even when those choices are different from your own, they are much more likely to open up, to seek your company, and to value your presence in their lives. Offering support without expectation also changes the dynamic around giving. If you help them out financially, for example, do you do it because you genuinely want to support them? Or do you feel like it buys you influence or guarantees a certain level of attention or control? True support is given with an open hand and an open heart, requiring nothing back. Think about how it feels when someone you respect truly sees you, accepts you, and believes in you, even when you stumble. That is the feeling we want to cultivate in our relationships with our adult children. It's not about being a doormat. It's about separating your support from your own needs or desires for their lives. Your boundaries protect you from being taken advantage of. Your own life ensures you're not dependent on them for fulfillment. Your listening ear shows you value their voice. Managing your reactions keeps interactions safe, and offering unconditional support and acceptance builds the bridge for genuine connection. These 5 powerful moves: setting boundaries, building your own life, listening more and advising less, managing your emotional reactions, and offering genuine support without expectation or judgment, are not about manipulating your children into respecting you. They are about cultivating your own self-respect, confidence, and emotional maturity. They are about shifting the dynamic from an old parent-child hierarchy to a more balanced, adult-to-adult relationship based on mutual respect and understanding. It takes time. It takes practice. There will be moments when you slip up, when old patterns resurface. Be kind to yourself. Acknowledge it. Learn from it. And recommit to showing up in the way you want to. What might surprise you is this: often, the very thing we crave, respect, closeness, feeling valued by our adult children, comes not from trying to control the relationship or make them change, but from focusing on ourselves. By becoming the best version of ourselves, a person who is confident, independent, emotionally stable, and unconditionally loving, we naturally become someone our children admire and want to spend time with. You teach people how to treat you by how you treat yourself and how you allow yourself to be treated. Remember, small, consistent changes can create profound shifts over time. This journey is about reconnecting on a deeper, more authentic level. If anything in this video resonated with you, or if you have your own experiences or insights to share about building strong relationships with adult children, please leave a comment below. I read everyone, and your experiences can help others in this community. And if you found this helpful, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel and lets me know I'm creating content that matters to you. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos on living your best life at every age. We're on this journey together. Thank you for watching. And remember, you are capable of incredible growth and fostering beautiful connections. Live your best life at every age.